I don't know about you, but I'm excited that it's March. I always like March. March is one of my favorite months of the year. It's the month where we begin to anticipate spring. In places like BC, where I live, in the Lower Mainland, spring is here. In other places, spring is closer. and there's a break coming up. There's an opportunity to look forward to things, to begin to see the end of the school year. But I think this year in particular, there's a bigger thing going on. And that bigger thing is that we appear to be coming to the end of a very difficult time. At least this difficult time. We know that we live in a world that seems to trade one crisis for another. And we also know that we live in an age where some people thrive on the crisis, whether it be media or political leaders. But I believe that at least in the short term, we are moving out of crisis mode back into something a little more predictable and a little more normal. And as we do that, I want to encourage you not to just leave behind what happened, but to spend a little bit of time thinking about it, reflecting on yourself, reflecting on the way you behaved during this time, repenting where you need to, and then asking God for the growth that is obvious. I know for me, I over and over again found myself getting so angry, so politicized myself about things that were going on, whether they be government policy or the way other people were behaving. And I just drifted really, really quickly into a kind of condescending view of people that don't agree with me. And that was, in my view, for me personally, the most disturbing part of the pandemic. The way that I began to think of my own brothers and sisters in Christ because they took a different position than me. And I really believe now it's a time for us to begin to recover. It's a time for us to begin to regenerate. In fact, recovery and regeneration is the theme for ACSI for next year. But I don't think that can happen until we, first of all, look at ourselves. I think there is every possibility for us as communities to return or even exceed the quality of relationship that we had before the pandemic. I think we have opportunity to go to each other and ask for forgiveness where we need to ask God to forgive us for what has sometimes been a very hard-hearted and arrogant and dehumanizing attitudes toward others. And then I think it's a good opportunity for us to invite God into those places in our lives where we know we are needy and weak. And for me, it's primarily in my relationships. It's primarily in the way that I readily treat people negatively, even just in my thoughts, in the way I think of them, just because I perceive them as being some kind of a threat to me. You know what the good news is? In Christ, nobody is a threat. Jesus is for me. He is for us, and he is working all things for good. And so I don't have to look at anybody as a threat. I need to look at everybody as an opportunity to love and to love unconditionally in the power of Jesus. And then to pray that they will come to a saving knowledge of Jesus in the same way that I have. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I try to pray for our Prime Minister and his family every single day. I care about them. I care about him. Yes, he's made some decisions that I don't agree with, but I want him to know Jesus. And I believe, if I can end with this, if you're ending this pandemic with some really, really hard-hearted attitudes towards some people because of the way they treated you, can I just ask you to do what Jesus tells you to do? Pray for them. And I don't mean feel good about them. I don't mean minimize the suffering that they brought about. I just mean ask God to show them the same love and mercy that he has shown you. Because I will tell you, in my life, that is the number one most effective way for me to get beyond the pain and hurt and to begin to feel that that person's behavior is not controlling me even long past the moment that they behave that way. And that I am actually free to live in the mercy of God and free to give that mercy to others because that is that is what God says. If we are to be forgiven, then we can forgive. So let's ask God as things get better to renew our relationships, to renew our love for one another, and then maybe as leaders and educators to help our parents and our children learn to do the same through our example. Bless you.